It's 7 o'clock and would like to reconvene from open session to the city manager, to city attorney. Is there any reportable actions taken in closed session?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We had a couple of reportable actions. Council voted 5-0 to institute a code enforcement action regarding a reservoir property and 5-0 to institute a code enforcement action regarding a 3rd Street property. The third case, there was no action taken. And for the two real property negotiations, there was no action taken.
At this time, I'd like to go ahead with Chaplain Vince Ball leading the invocation. And please remain standing while the Pledge of Allegiance is said, and Councilman Greg Newton's going to lead us in Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I think this is on.
That would be me.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Well, happy Holy Week today. Anyway, let us pray. Almighty and ever-living God, your radiant beauty is clothed with splendor and majesty, covering yourself with light as with a garment stretching out to the heavens. We pray for world peace and protection for our military and first responders around the world and those at home in our community. We pray for our city council leaders and those gathered here today for the good of our community in this great city. We pray as we discuss the matters presented here today, let us be gracious, respectful towards one another, inspired by God's love. We ask for your blessing here today. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Thank you, everybody.
All right, we will now move to presentations. First, we have the CPRS award and would like to call upon Candace Smith.
Mayor Pro Tem, I don't believe Candace Smith is here tonight. We're going to have to reschedule her.
Okay, you got it. Moving on, we're going to go, we have another presentation, a DMV Donation of Life of Month proclamation, which that's right here, and would like to call upon let me see here. It would, and I apologize, this is my first time. It's a DMV Donation of Life Month, and it's on my next page. Yeah, and would like to call upon the One Legend Ambassador Kat. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening, Mayor, City Council, and community members. My name is Kat, and I am honored to be here representing One Legacy, our local organ procurement organization serving Riverside County. On behalf of our entire community, I want to sincerely thank the City of Norco for your continued support of organ, eye, and tissue donation, and for recognizing this important cause through your proclamation again this year. Your leadership helps raise awareness, encourages meaningful conversations, and ultimately saves lives. There are currently over 110,000 people waiting for a life-saving organ. 20% of those actually live here in California. For me, this mission is deeply personal. As you may remember, my 11-year-old son, Christopher, became an organ donor 8.5 years ago. In the midst of this unimaginable loss, our family made the decision to say yes to donation. And because of that decision, lives were not only saved, but families were given hope in a moment where there once was none. I have had the incredible honor of meeting all 3 of his organ recipients, the individuals who received his kidneys, pancreas, and liver. To stand in front of them, to see their smiles, to meet their families, and to witness their lives that they are now able to live is something I will truly carry with me forever. In those moments, you realize that donation doesn't just save lives, it connects them. My son's legacy is still living on through each of them in every milestone they reach, in every memory they continue to make. That is the true power of organ, eye, and tissue donation. Because of communities like Norco, more people are learning about the importance of registering as donors and having those important conversations with their loved ones. Thank you again for continuing to partner with us. Your compassion and your helping families like mine turns loss into legacy. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you'd stay right there, we'd like to take a picture with you.
I would love that.
And you said that awesome. I couldn't have said it any better. And we practiced on it, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'd like you to come up here and we'll get a picture with
Sure.
you.
Now I know who you are.
Like, you're gonna remember. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Over here.
Let me get Greg. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, and moving to the next item, number 1, we would like to have the city council report and would like to start with Greg Newton.
Tell you what, I'll pick it up. Yep. So anyway, I attended quite a few meetings, a lot of meetings, but the key ones were the Cal City's Rev and Tax Policy Committee in Orange County. We covered a lot of new bills. The state of California is coming up with a lot of stuff. The really big one was we had a guest speaker who, her name is Susan Shelby. You may have read her. She's with the Howard Jarvis folks. And she's doing the proposition to save Prop 13. And what that does is it would force all taxes to go to what the state constitution says, which is a 2/3 majority. What's happened is over the years, they've gone to a 50+1 to pass a lot of these different taxes that we use. Fortunately, if this were to pass, it would not affect Norco except for about $160,000 in transfer taxes, which is a salary. And but it wouldn't affect our Measure R because we're grandfathered in. What was very interesting about that particular meeting was I couldn't figure out why there was almost no elected officials there. It was all city managers, assistant city managers, and as Cal Cities, we voted in that meeting not to move forward supporting this bill. But it will go to the people and we suspect it'll pass. But they were all there because they don't want this to pass because it would really devastate a lot of cities. Some of the other, there was just a ton of bills. I'm not going to go after all of them, but there's some things we might be able to touch into with our consultant. AB 1866, disaster preparedness, a lot of housing bills. Oh my God, so many housing bills. High-speed rail, if you're near that, they want to build 5,000 homes. It's really very, very interesting that, I mean, the reality is they've just gone nuts. and AB 698, property tax reform. I mean, one of the things that they're trying to do is modify transfer taxes, cap rates. I mean, there's all this stuff that they're trying to come up with. And it will all sort of trickle downhill and will be put into our staff's lap and in our lap and our residents' lap. And what's most frustrating about this is nobody even knows it's happening. They don't even know. What's happening is they're making everybody look way up at the federal government up here, which really isn't the enemy. It's actually our own state legislature. It's just absolutely appalling. And then, as I announced to all of you already, that we did let go the WRCOG director. He's been dismissed, and so we're getting ready to go into the finding a new director. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Next, we'll have Sullivan, Councilmember Sullivan.
I can't remember what day it was. It was last week. I'm trying to remember the date. So March 26th, I attended the, oh, so sorry. I'll get it together with all these gadgets here. So March 26th, I attended the RTA board meeting, and it was business as usual, but I would like to note that April 22nd is Earth Day, and RTA will be providing free bus rides. So you can leave your car at home and take the bus. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Newton.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just wanted to give just a small update from the last council meeting. Our CDA board meeting is tomorrow, and we're going to be discussing our overall budget, but it looks like our overall cost is going to go up $15 per acre foot. But I think we're looking in a pretty good shape for a refund this year also. But just wanted to put that out, since at the last meeting we're looking at $13.66 per acre foot. Then I'll report out at the next council meeting. That's all I have.
Thank you, Greg. Mayor Grunmeyer.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I have nothing to report.
Thank you. And for me? Thank you. And by the way, you're doing an awesome job. Thank you so much. On March 19th, Northwest and Mosquito, it was the last day that the director was there. He's being called up he's a reservist, and he's going to be gone for 6 months. So we were hustling to get somebody, an intern, to come in and take his spot. So that's all the meeting was pretty much all about. And then, by the way, Sam, on the 21st, awesome job. Thank you very much. The football team, I mean, they were awesome. And I love seeing the football team help out. And then city managers, everybody was there. And it is so nice to see everybody coming together. All 5 city council people were there. City staff was there. And the neatest part is staying in line, and as people come in, you're waving at people you know. And that just brings the community closer together. And you did a really nice job. And thank you guys very much. That's all I got. All right, moving on to, he said we're moving on to item number 2 for public comments. City clerks, is there any public comments?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem. Bill Naylor.
Okay, Good. I just had two quick items. One is on the item 3D on your agenda tonight. It's talking about the awarding a contract to Willdan for additional animal control services. The only concern that I have, and I really haven't had a chance to really know too much about it until I saw it on the agenda, was that it has not come before Parks and Recreation for any input from us. I do know that we've had a number of staff turnover and things like that in that department, but it would be kind of nice for us to maybe delve into it a little bit to find out what's going on, and also about how long it's taking to backfill vacant positions. That was just, I thought it should have been pulled and discussed a little bit more, or at least brought to the Parks and Recreation Commission first. Second item that I had was several weeks ago at the last council meeting, I had made a request, not to the council, but to staff, to see if we could not get some no parking signs along Corona between 7th and 6th Street by St. Mel's, because of the, during Ash Wednesday, they had just people were parking all over the horse trails, things like that, and we saw nothing but all kinds of complaints on Facebook and so on and so forth about that. So I thought it would be a great idea to at least put up a no parking sign or two on that street. And I've been by it twice now, and so far the last was as of today, and there was no parking signs on the horse trail in that block. So guess what's coming up this weekend? Easter. So do you think St. Mel's is going to be busy? I think so. So it would be nice if we could get that taken care of. Thank you.
I have no further speaker cards.
Okay, moving on. We will be now moving to item number 3 on the consent calendar. Are there any items that City Council would like to pull at this time?
3D.
3D. Do I have a second?
Second.
And at this time, I'd like the rest of the consent calendar to be voted on. Do I have a
Make
second?
a motion to approve the rest of the remaining of the calendar.
Second.
I have a motion from Member Bash and a second from Member Newton. Please vote. Motion passed unanimous.
The city clerk, do they have more public comments? Is it for another item? And that would go to the city attorney?
Not now.
Not now?
It's good. Fine. So anyway, Amanda, is it necessary to go before the commission, or that's why I pulled this?
These are staffing challenges, basically as needed. There really isn't anything that's changing in our operations. Sometimes we do have employees that go out for extended leave, and we faced a lot of challenges this past year. And we still have emergency calls. We still have rodeos in which we need to have our the stock inspected for that. We have to have animal control on the grounds during these events. And sometimes it does get very challenging, especially when you're also running emergency calls as well. So we just want this in our back pocket so that if we do get stuck into a situation, we're still able to serve the community. It has no change in any sort of operations, and in my opinion, would not need to go before the Parks and Rec Commission.
So I'm gonna make the motion to approve this, but could you just do me a favor and just what you just told me, just let the Park and Rec Commission know that.
Absolutely.
So with that, I make a motion to approve this 3D.
Second.
I have a motion from Member Bash and a second from Member Newton. Please vote. Motion passed unanimous.
All right. Let's see where we're at here. We are now moving to item number 5 for a public hearing from the city clerk. Can you please read the order of the presentation for the public hearing items?
Staff report presentation, council questions of staff, open the public hearing, public comment, close public hearing, council discussion and action.
Mayor Pro Tem, I need to recuse myself from this item. Thank you.
Yeah, for item number 5, I would like to call up upon Erica Woods Diaz. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council members. It's nice to see all of you again. I'm here to present item 5A, Appeal Hearing, Site Plan 2025-02. This is a appeal of the Planning Commission decision to deny Site Plan 2025-02. This is an appeal that was filed by the designer of the project, the representative of the applicant. The site plan was a request to allow the construction of a 1,250 square foot office shell building at 3881 Center Avenue, which is located in the C4 commercial zone. Here is an aerial view of the site, the vacant lot. I believe approximately 7,000 square feet of land. It is surrounded by C4 and it's just south of 6th Street. This is a street view of the lot. There is residential that's abutting it that is also still a C4 zone. This is the site plan that was submitted, excuse me, at the Planning Commission. The blue area is the path of travel, and the pink, if you call that pink, shows the buildings sitting at 1,250 square feet. East and west elevations. Maximum height of the structure, I believe, is 21.5 feet. It's a front view. Just a brief summary of the case. The case was heard by the Planning Commission on December 10th, 2025. Planning Commission heard testimony and during that testimony decided that they needed the plans to be modified. Those are the 3 items: to show this accessible path of travel, replacement of landscape material, the red yucca, and to provide an alternate roof design. On January 14th, 2026, the item was back on the agenda. Planning staff requested it be postponed to the next Planning Commission meeting, and that was granted. February 11th, 2026, the Planning Commission heard the case with the items on the revised site plan and denied the project, primarily due to building code exceptions and the site constraints that may possibly cause an inability to meet code requirements. February 18th, the applicant filed an appeal. These are the findings that are required for the planners to request or recommend an approval. You have to meet these in order to meet an approval. So the requested site plan will not adversely affect the general plan or public convenience or general welfare of persons residing or working in the neighborhood. The project is consistent with the underlying zone, and the proposed use can be operated in a manner to be compatible with other permitted uses. The requested use will not adversely affect adjoining land uses or further or future growth within the C4 zone. The proposed use will not inhibit or induce growth or development beyond what is already anticipated. These are two other findings that are required. These findings, by the way, were the findings that were submitted to the Planning Commission. The size and shape of the subject site is adequate to allow the full development of the proposed use consistent and in compliance with development standards. The project will construct the structure to accommodate office uses with site and building designs that comply with our standards. The city staff, planning staff, determined that the project is categorically exempt from environmental assessment per Class 3. So the majority, or if not all, of the issues were building and safety issues. Because of that reason, we do have a building official here, Stefan, who also attended the Planning Commission. He does have some slides to share with you.
Thank you, Erica. Is this my clicker?
It sure is.
Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about some pretty technical building code items here. Admittedly, this is a tight site. The overall width of the site is 48 feet 9 inches. And so from top to bottom, as you see the site plan there, the portion of the site plan, we need to fit a chain link fence, a 20-foot deep parking stall, which is our planning standard, a 25-foot drive aisle, 3-inch bollards, a 3-foot wide accessible path of travel, and a 6-inch CMU fence. That's all from top to bottom. If you add up those numbers there, the 20, the 25, the 3 feet, the 3 inches, and the 6 inches, that adds up to 48 feet 9 inches. The chain link fence is going to impede slightly into the parking stall. As we go through these slides, we can kind of explain how we arrived at this conclusion.
Can you speak up, please? We can't hear.
Sorry about that. Is that better? All right. So the accessible path of travel from the public right-of-way is wheelchair access to the building from somebody on the sidewalk. So typically that is 48 inches wide for sidewalks and walks. However, the building code allows an exception to reduce this down to 36 inches due to an unreasonable hardship on the applicant. The code section is listed right there with the exception. So it says the clear width for sidewalks and walks shall be 48 inches minimum when, because of right-of-way restrictions, natural barriers, or other existing conditions, the enforcing agency determines that compliance with the 48-inch minimum clear sidewalk width would create an unreasonable hardship. The clear width may be reduced to 36 inches. So that is an exception that we are willing to allow there for that path. Another code section that will be complying with via exceptions in the code is this section, which states that the accessible path of travel must physically be separated from the vehicular traffic. So that's why sidewalks and things of that nature on sites are always raised up 4 inches. It's to protect those accessible pedestrians from traffic. So there's the code section there that says that it needs to be 4 inches minimum above the area where the traffic occurs. So if we go back to the site plan really quick, we're talking about that bottom hatched portion along the plan south there to protect from like vehicles backing out of those stalls up above. However, with the 4-inch raised portion, we would need a curb ramp there to make that turn towards the entry of the building, and that would require the curb ramp to be 48 inches minimum. So because of that, we're willing to allow an exception again, where we're not raising that path up 4 inches. Rather, we are meeting the intent of the code by protecting those pedestrians from the traffic via the bollards. So that's, if you look at the site plan there, it's item 1.95. You can see those dots along that path. That's how we're going to protect those pedestrians from being hit by the traffic. Let's see here. So this is again the overall site plan that Erica showed earlier. The blue is the accessible path of travel. And I'll turn it back over to Erica.
What was your first name?
Stefan.
Stefan?
Yeah.
Planning staff's recommendations is that to consider all written and oral evidence in the record and render a decision to either uphold or overturn the determination by the Planning Commission. Planning staff's recommendation is the same. We recommended approval to the Planning Commission. So our recommendation is to overturn the Planning Commission's denial and approve the project with the conditions of approval by adopting the City Council resolution. And Stefan is here if you have questions, and also the appellant is here, Mr. Cohen from CJC Design. He's also here.
Thank you. Do any of the city council have any questions? They'd like to start with Newton. Do you have anything you want to ask him?
Sure. And more of my questions are going to be under discussion, Mayor Pro Tem. But Erica,
Yes, sir.
so in reviewing the plans, the landscape, and I'll get further into this in discussion. Landscape right now is shown at 10.5% coverage, 5% required. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we have a little more than we need.
Correct.
Okay. And then my other questions for Stefan. Real simple. With most of the contention was on ADA and understanding all of that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have certified access specialist certificate?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Could you, for my colleagues, could you expound a little bit on, because we've all had concern on liability and some of those questions that came up, and my understanding on, to get that cert, you're also then a qualified defendant.
Yeah, I can be a qualified defendant for that
Okay.
if necessary. The CASP certificate is called, CASP.
Right.
It stands for Certified Access Specialist. Since the Americans with Disabilities Act passed in 1991, there's been about 1,200 of them in the state of California. There's about 600 active. It's a difficult certification to pass. And yeah, it does grant me that.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. I know that's one of the hardest tests you can take with less than 10% passing, but I think it gives us some, or at least gives me a feeling of, with liability, that what's being proposed is more than an expert opinion. So my only question at this time. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Sullivan has been recused herself. I'd like to go to Councilman Bash.
I just have one question. Yeah, just walk through, I don't care who, just walk through to me. So you actually, I know that it's zoned, the home is zoned for commercial, but what are we doing? Just walk me publicly through, what are you doing to protect them from that business? What kind of, explain the fencing, how high, that kind of stuff. I know it's there, but I would just like it to be put out into the ether.
So there's a 6-foot tall split face fence, concrete block wall
Okay.
that will be placed
And have the
there.
neighbors complained at all?
We have no letters of opposition.
Okay, great. I knew that, I just wanted to put it out there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I have.
Mayor Grunmeyer, do you have anything?
I do not. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Now on to me. Going back to the block wall, is that, and that would be for Erica. All these provisions that we have set in is going to be taken care of when it goes to the building department for plan approval. Am I correct?
Correct.
So it sounds like they're meeting everything and there's no code enforcement. They've taken care of all that. That's great.
Yeah, there's no code cases.
And I don't have any other questions. And then, as far as, Stefan, as far as the ADA, I've seen other ones that have got exempts out of it because they're extra small lots. And the 36 inches and for the turnaround when you come out, that's exactly what you're gonna have, or you're gonna have more than 36?
From the public right-of-way to that first turn, we will have 36 inches.
Okay,
Which is what an accessible route would be inside of a building, right?
Okay.
It's a little bit wider outside, and then that's why they allow that kind of pinch there sometimes. If
I'm
they-
educating myself right now with you, so.
Yeah. So yes, 36 inches is what would be required inside. I mean, technically a wheelchair space, like if you put that on floor plan, it's 30 inches wide by 48. So that's what a typical wheelchair would be, 30 inches wide. So yes, it's a little tight, but there are many tight spaces that they squeeze through that are complying with code.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would like to open it up for public hearing. City Clerk, do you have any public hearing comments?
I do. Jerry Lundy.
Good evening, council. My name is Jerry Lundy. The reason I'm here tonight is I was going to maybe be an investor on the build. So you've answered a ton of the questions that I kind of needed to know this evening already. But I have done a lot of work with Mr. Opitz over the years, and everything he's ever done has been, spot on. I know who they have hired to do all, the architecture basically on this. Has done a lot of other building stuff like this and has, over the years, has always been really well done and haven't had a problem. So I was kind of confused on why this got denied, because I really thought we were on the forward, but a lot of questions have been answered tonight, so I just would love for you guys to try to approve this if possible. I would like to be part of the build, and that's why I'm here this evening. Thank you very much.
Todd Manser.
Hi, Council. Thank you for having me here. My name is Todd Manser. I'm kind of in the same boat as Jerry here. A lot of questions have been answered tonight. I was kind of confused at why this was denied when it's an A+ as far as complying with everything that Mr. Opitz has been asked to do under the guidelines of Norco. And I personally, as a Norco resident, a homeowner, I've raised my children here. I'd love to see something in that area that's not an open lot that would bring something positive to the city of Norco. I literally unsaddled my horse to be here tonight for Mr. Opitz. I believe in him. I've done a lot of things with him in the past, and I think that he's a straightforward guy. And I think that tonight I've seen that. I believe that a lot of questions are answered and that it's positive that he has done everything asked of, and that this would be a bonus to the Norco community. So thanks for having me here tonight and listening to me. And
What was your first name?
Todd Manser. Yeah, Todd. Thank you, guys.
Ms. Drake?
Good evening. My name is Teresa Drake. I am also a Norco resident. I'm also a LA County Sheriff's Deputy, and from what I've seen in the past, I would love to see this build go forward. I worry about my kids. I worry about the darkness in that area. I think that having this building in this specific lot would be beneficial for all the Norco residents, so I'm definitely in favor of it. Thank you, guys.
Samantha, is it Salvarez? Salinas, my apologies.
Hi, good evening. My name is Samantha. I'm also a Norco resident. I would really like to see a new addition to our city. It would be nice to have less homelessness and something better around, have like Circle K. My siblings and I, we go to Circle K and we get like coffee or sodas and stuff. So it would be nice to have a building that's just better and we can avoid, you know, people loitering and stuff. So I'm also in favor. Thank you.
I have no further speaker cards, Mayor Pro Tem.
At this time, I'd like to close public hearing.
Excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
Would you like to hear from the applicant,
Uh,
designer?
Is the applicant here? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, I would.
Good evening. My name is Fred Cohen, CJC Design. The address is 22485 La Palma Avenue, Yorba Linda. To be honest, I had this whole speech written up, but Erica and Stefan stole my thunder, and pretty much they explained everything that needed to be said. I appreciate your time looking at the project, and hopefully we can get approval tonight. One thing I wanted to mention is we do have, originally when we designed this, previous building official said we don't need a path of travel to the building, ADA path of travel. The reason being, of course, there is no sidewalk. This is horse trail right in front of the property. Therefore, there is no wheelchair access. However, in the event of future, maybe there will be a sidewalk. We are adding this ADA accessible path of travel to the building. There was another issue that brought up by another commissioner the night. He was questioning about how the building is going to be interfering with the foundation. Of course, there are many ways of designing foundation of the building not to interfere with the adjacent building. Of course, we're going to have our foundation pretty much as deep as the next door foundation, not to put any surcharge. But overall, I think this is a great project. I think it meets all the requirements of the city. There are no variants being actually applied for. So I'm hoping tonight would be the last time we come before you so we can have the approval and move this project forward. It's been going on for almost, I would say, since 2017. I'm not blaming the staff. It was us because we came in with the original design that the staff didn't support, but we went ahead and tried our case. Of course, that lost. And we went back to the drawing board, redesigned the whole thing from beginning, and we came up with this design, which I think it actually great design. The building architecture meets all the Norco requirements, which, I mean, I've designed many buildings in this city, from Arco, Ignite Pacific, and all that. They're all, and I understand everything has to be, I love the city of Norco, to be honest with you. I tried to buy a house here, but that was during the 2008 time. Everybody was trying to sell per se, but it was short sale. So I got stuck in Yorba Linda. still, land of gracious living. So thank you for your time, and I'm here for any question you may have.
Newton, you have any questions?
Possibly under discussion.
Okay. Nothing? Robin, do you have any questions?
I don't. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay. I don't have any questions at this time.
Thank you.
And we'll be moving now forward with city council discussion and action. I would like to start with Newton.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem, you close the public hearing?
Oh, I'd like to close the public hearing.
Thank you.
And I'd like to move now to move forward with council discussion and action.
Thank you. In no particular order. Erica, could you put up, you have an aerial, well, let's start with site plan slide, but you also have an aerial.
Yes, I do.
We can start with site plan.
Site plan.
So as first I want to make this comment as far as to the Planning Commission, like the first round, as the applicant's designer said, I think on the second round we came up with a much better looking building. And that I appreciate and encourage our Planning Commission to have discussion and debate. Some of it may have gotten off the rails a little bit, but I want our Planning Commissioners to always have discussion, have debate with staff, and the end result is always to focus on the success of the project.
Correct, yeah.
So making that statement, the design or the architect had mentioned, you know, the structural element. That's not up to council, it's not up to Planning Commission, it's up to the building official and the designer to work out the concerns during the plan check. But I don't know if you can blow that up at all. And I'm just throwing this out, is when I asked you about the landscape, that bottom dimension from outside of the CMU wall to the curb face is 3'9". And we have to have the 25-foot minimum drive aisle. I believe that this is somewhat addressed in one of your conditions. I'll find that number in a minute. 45, I think.
Right,
where we should, yeah, or we could reduce the southern landscape area. As long as we don't go below the 5%, right?
That would be okay, correct.
Yeah, because as the building official stated, the entire width, all these dimensions, is coming down to fractions of an inch.
Correct.
And it's not the reality in construction.
Correct.
Okay? So as long as, when that comes up and the applicant has the ability to just work with staff to reduce that.
Right.
Okay? And then if you go to the far right, I'm just throwing this out when I went over the drawings, and it's more on the value engineering. If you follow that landscape curb up, I don't know if you can blow that up at all, but you see that little 1-foot jog by the parking stall, the last parking stall. You had it.
Okay.
Whether you want to do it or not, but go to that drawing. Why don't you just get rid of that little jog there, save yourself the money, save yourself that step out from the parking stall, and just make the parking stall wider and eliminate that landscaping there?
They
It does
could.
no good
They could.
and save you some dollars on that, okay? As long as you don't go below that requirement.
Correct.
All right, so let's go to the front entrance, if we could. And I think this would be condition 29. These are all the improvements in the right-of-way. That, starting at the northern PL, that we include curb and gutter to match up with the existing curb and gutter at the Circle K. All right? To add to this condition. The natural soil that's shown between the drive approach and the new pavement, the drive approach, that concrete should extend to the new pavement. Makes no sense to pull off the street, track dirt onto a new parking lot, and conversely, to track dirt onto a repaved street section. So then, my question now comes to Stefan. As you fill in that concrete where they show dirt from the drive approach to the new paving, you have your ADA access that was on this drawing shown traveling through the dirt, natural soil. Okay? Would you be able to work out with the applicant the wing on the drive approach to make that landing concrete throughout to tie into the ADA access there?
Okay, so first I'll answer that the building department regulates what's on private property.
Right, okay,
I'll say
so,
that, although the accessible path of travel may start on the public right-of-way,
right,
it's not regulated by the building department, so it would be Sam and Public Works
Okay.
to work that out. I'm going to try not to be sarcastic here. At the present
oh no,
moment,
it's okay.
someone in a wheelchair is going to have to power through all that dirt.
Right,
Right?
right.
And get to that accessible path of travel. That's how it is now.
Yeah,
That is why the previous building official made a different determination. He was also CASP, right? And so he, as the applicant had mentioned, the previous building official did not require an accessible path of travel from the public right-of-way at all. So when this project hit my desk, I worked with 5 CASPs that I know to get a consensus on, again, if Public Works comes in 5 years from now and paves that sidewalk, I know it may not happen, but we would be out of compliance, right? So I made the call that the previous building official was using a code section that says, if you have to drive into a parking lot only by a vehicle, and even a pedestrian would not walk there on their feet, they would still drive there, then you do not need an accessible path of travel to the public right-of-way. That was intended for lots that have, like in Big Bear, where they have like really high, Rodeo Drive type stuff to get to the building. Nobody in their right mind would walk up that 200-foot hill to get there. They would still drive there. That's what that exception was intended for. So I did make that comment, and the applicant and owner obliged that comment, even though it was not mentioned by the previous building official to provide this. But again, I can't regulate what's in the public right-of-way and require concrete or any portion of that to be part of an accessible path of travel, just on the private property.
I guess my question is, can we still put that as a condition? Okay, so that's my concern, that, we just have this little bit of dirt, right? Like the drive approach, that's silly not to have concrete there to match the impervious surfaces. So we got that little square, right? That, can we have concrete there? Does it have to meet certain, I guess it really wouldn't meet certain any specification other than just cover the dirt, right?
Sam and I can get together and talk about what would quasi be required for that. I mean,
Okay.
There's a slope and a cross slope for accessible
Yeah,
routes on the
yeah.
public right of way that we can sort of follow if
Okay.
if we can, and we'll talk to the applicant and owner and see if they're okay with
All
providing
right.
that.
I mean, I'd like to see that addressed also with that condition on 29, I guess. And then still staying in the front, I mean, this is a good-looking building, it's a nice project. North of the driveway, there's another natural dirt area. And I guess this goes back now to Erica, that I don't mind trading off some of the landscape, but could you just have them put the condition to say, put weed barrier and decorative rock over it instead of just dirt blowing around? And then if you would pull up the aerial, the Google map one that was in the Planning Commission. Okay, if you look real close at that, where we missed the boat years ago was with Circle K. You can see the tire tracks where people just drive right through the dirt and into the parking lot, over the curb and gutter. So it's just like, let's put an end to that, just having natural dirt out there, and just cover that little corner. And I just have a couple of more notes. On condition 25. This is not directed specifically, I think it's just from experience. Condition 25 says, no outdoor storage shall be allowed. I would like to expand that just a little bit, because with our code cases, a lot of people don't understand no. And so could we expand that to say, no outdoor storage shall be allowed, but also to include vehicles, equipment, materials, et cetera, to be a little more specific with that. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Sullivan has recused yourself from this, so we're going to go straight to Councilman Bash.
I don't have a whole lot. I like the project. I have one minor little tiny thing. So I really like segmented windows. And I notice on your drawing here on the right side, you've got the nice segmented windows, but then you have kind of modern looking windows. Notice the three in the middle. I'd like to see those, if possible, segmented in such a way because they're a little bit modern for me. And we've worked really, really hard with, with Kelly and with the department to try to make these look as agrarian as possible. And if we could segment those windows, would that be possible? And then also the front door, maybe segment it. Just looks a little modern to me. And then also the end window, a little bit more segmentation. So the window I really like, so maybe another cross beam on the lower side of it or something. The window I really like is the one on the far side. Go back to the other drawings. The one on, I really like those segments. And if maybe just one, what's that? No, but I meant even the overhead door, is it, you could put something on the left of the door there, or is that a door that's, is that an entire door on the bottom part? Is it just the right side that's the door?
Just the right side, but there is no problem. We can do segment.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I really like the design. I think it looks really good. And I really want to hand it to the planning department and to Kelly and stuff, because in the last couple of years, you guys have worked really, really hard to come up with these designs, and I really appreciate the fact that you've incorporated so much of it into it. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mayor Grunmeyer, do you have anything?
I do not. I concur with the comments of Councilmember Newton and Councilmember Bash.
Got that. And for me, now I'm going back on something that Newton said on a different issue on the block wall. Is that 6 foot or is it 8 foot? It'd be looking at the side level when I was looking at it, when I drove by it, it'd be beneficial if it was 8 foot. And the reason for that is you don't have more people looking over from the neighbors are not.
It can be.
I mean, just food for thought. I don't know what the code is, but that's something that the city's gonna work out. It'd just be advantageous to put something taller so you have more privacy and you're not including on to your neighbors, which I don't think you'll have a problem with, but just food for thought. And what I'd also like is, this is something that I agree with staff. This is, they would like this project to go forward, but, and I don't want to hit on this hard at all, but I feel that it should have been approved before we got here. And with that being said, with the fees for the appeal, I like to, and I'd be curious of what the other city council are thinking about it, to go ahead and refund the money for having to appeal it to here. It's something that probably should have been approved at the commission meeting. And I really appreciate their diligence about digging into this, but a lot of the stuff that they were asking was going to be handled at the building and safety issues. I mean, those are codes that they can't get away from. So that's my recommendation as far as giving back the fields for the appeal and going forward with the project.
I do have another question. Just really quick. So if it goes to 8 feet, because I thought about that also, if it goes to 8 feet, does that require a deeper footing? Greg, do you know? Somebody know?
Not necessarily. It can be an L-shaped footing, and the footing can grow in width.
I mean, I'm thinking about your cost. What do you think about an 8 foot, Greg?
If I can make a comment or a question to the building official, that because you are so tight on the width of this site, okay, and that's why I originally went back to the reducing the landscaping, that the rest of the building is 8-inch CMU. To pick up 2 inches, they changed the south wall to 6-inch block, okay? I honestly don't know if you could, a 6-inch block could go to 8 foot without increasing the, obviously the footing, but increasing the reinforcing, and it'd have to be solid grout.
Yeah.
So I guess that cost impact would have to be, you know, decided by the, you know, the engineer or the owner. That I agree with you on the 8 foot height, but the constraints of the site, I'd be concerned that 6-inch block going to an 8 foot height would.
I mean, it's going to depend on those specific seismic loads at that specific site. From what I'm seeing right now on the front part of that, it looks like it's only 3 feet high for the first 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to have a 6-inch block wall grouted every cell with rebar in every cell, work for 8 feet? I think so. I don't know for sure.
Right, me too.
I don't know for sure, but
maybe.
Yeah, I
Right.
guess I will say this, like, as far as the building code is concerned, the depth of the accessible parking stall up there, it's currently 20 feet. The required depth by the building code is 18 feet.
Yeah, personally, I'd rather, if you can do it, go to the 8 feet. I think that would be good, personally. But I don't want to put a whole bunch of money on top of you because you haven't gotten any complaints from the neighbor.
I mean, it's also possible that it's not structurally possible to do that.
And that's it's six, I'm wondering that. Maybe, how do we leave that? Can you look into that? Colby, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the best way to handle this is that we understand your intentions here, and we'll work with the applicant to get the design to accommodate, or accomplish what you're after. In the event we can't, then it may be at 7 feet, or it ends up at 6, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's also possible that for the first 20 feet, we've got a 3-foot tall wall, so it's no big deal. Maybe it's 6 feet until that turn, and then 8 feet beyond that, and then you can go to 8-inch block if you want, because you're just impeding into the landscape.
I like
Yeah,
that.
if I would
works for
interject
me.
on that, Kevin, I wouldn't just, we had this at CarMax years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you want a
Right.
stair step somehow, so we don't need to design it. It can be worked out by planning staff and building, but Greg, to have a 3-foot wall and then jump up to an 8-foot wall, you need some steps there. Otherwise, it's just gonna look,
Yeah, I got it.
look silly.
So I guess,
And then,
Robin.
can I comment?
Mayor Grummeyer, do you have any more comments?
We're currently having technical difficulties. She's having issues hearing.
What was that?
We're having technical difficulties. She's having issues hearing, so we're trying to get it worked out with IT.
So are we on hold for a minute?
Well, with that being said, I'd like to have the owner step back up, if that's okay. Thank you.
No problem, thank you.
I'm not going to
I
grill
do
you, I'm
not.
just
Thank
buying
you, Mayor
time.
Pro Tem.
Okay, go ahead. You don't have any more questions?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah.
So are you good? You don't have any more questions, Mayor? I'd like to apologize.
I do not, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. With that being said, do you have anything you'd like to add at the end before we decide?
No, I appreciate everything you guys mentioned. The main reason we have that 20-foot area as a 3-foot high wall is mainly for the traffic, especially the neighbor next door, when they come and go, they can see the car if you go 8 feet. And I haven't looked at the house next door for a long time. I'm not sure how high their windows are. I think 6 foot would actually cover it, but if there is a possibility, we can do a 8-inch block wall with 8 feet high. Of course, that goes into engineered type wall. We actually have to do the structural calcs and all that. On the 6 foot high, it's a standard wall, garden wall. But we have no issues. As far as the adding concrete, I think that's a great idea. The main reason I didn't add the concrete was mainly I thought it's gonna be as a horse trail. that was the main reason. But I think having a concrete actually across the entire property, it's a great idea, and doesn't add that much cost. Thank you so much.
Mayor Pro Tem, as the applicant's representative, are you fine with all these additional conditions and comments that we've made?
Absolutely, there's no
Okay.
issues.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I'd like to make a motion with the list that you have over there and include with that list that we waive the fees for the appeal.
Do I hear a second?
You got to read, could you read the list?
Yeah,
Along with
unless
the
you want to have,
windows.
you made the motion, I have to have discussion on that part.
Okay.
Which way do we go on that?
Well, he said the motion with the list, so if you'd like to clarify the list by reading it, that'd be fine. The motion would be clear.
Yep, yeah. great.
Okay, so with all the changes to conditions and comments that we've made throughout this hearing, I'm fine with all of those. As far as a refund on the appeal fees, that I'm a no on that. The applicant had called me about this project, you know, what do I do? I honestly believe that the Planning Commission did the job they were tasked to do. You know, with the first design and then improvements with the second design. Some folks may not have liked the decision of the Planning Commission, but Planning Commission did the job. But what I said to the applicant was, you do have a right to appeal, and then it comes to council. Go to City Hall, make the application, pay the appeal fee. And that's where I left that conversation. So in this case, I'm not convinced that there's a reason to refund the appeal fee. Everything else, I'm 100%.
How much is the fee?
Erica, do you have a price on that fee? Is that like $500?
It's roughly 1,800? Yeah, roughly 1,800.
How much staff time did you put in between that meeting and,
A lot.
so you put in a lot of staff time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
Well,
been
then-
exhausted.
Say again?
It's all been exhausted with staff time.
Okay, so you know what, I will rescind since there was so much staff time involved in this, I'll rescind that portion of my motion and make a motion to go with the list that Greg has, including the windows.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. The city clerk, can we get a vote?
I have a motion from Member Bash and a second from Member Newton. Please vote.
I think we want to do a roll call vote since we have somebody on teleconference for this item.
Yes.
Councilmember Newton,
Yes.
Mayor Grunmeyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Bash,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bowen.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right. With that item, number 6, the city council staff communication. We'll start with city staff. What's that? Oh,
Yeah, you need to bring Thea back in.
How come?
well, she wanted to go get lunch. All right, with city staff, do you have anything, Sam?
Nothing.
Amanda?
I do. This Saturday, we will have our Easter egg hunt at Wayne Macon Sports Complex, starting at 9 a.m. to noon. So please come out. Anybody who has kids, we're going to have a bunch of different age groups. Everything's on our city website. We will have the Easter Bunny there with some chicks, little chicks running around, and some fun. So hope to see you all there.
Collins, do you have anything? Lizette?
Yes, tomorrow we'll be having our Senior Center Volunteer Social, where we'll be showing our appreciation for all the Senior Center volunteers from 10 to 12.
Joshua?
No, sir.
Greg?
Couple of things. Will there be an Easter bunny?
Yes, we're flying him in.
Back to what the Mayor Pro Tem said about last Saturday with the community cleanup. Sam, you and Julie, you're rock stars. You guys you knocked it out of the park, but I want to make sure that Julie is recognized also. Kept the Mayor Pro Tem in donuts, so he should be happy with that. But it's just good. Sam, you've gotten good on this. This is a good project, and everything ran smooth. What was the count? It was like over 500, wasn't it?
553.
Is that like almost a record?
Yes.
Okay. Take some more credit for yourself. I think, like I said, you and Julie are knocking it out of the park, and I appreciate all your work. That's all I have. Thank you.
Fia, you have anything? Kevin?
Snake was very cool. I keep saying this, I really appreciate the fact that at the T-ball opening day, the fields look so professional. I mean, I go back to being a kid every time I go to one of those, and they're just so straight, and it looks so cool, and I wanted to slap all the kids when they stood on the line and did the chalk dust. But it was really, really cool. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Mayor Grummeyer, you have anything?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to staff for accommodating me for being remote on this meeting. I know technology can be anxiety inducing, especially like when the sound gets muted. So I appreciate everybody for the extra work that was put in this week, and Mayor Pro Tem for covering the meeting as well. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome. What time is it there?
11:15.
And Sam, thank you. And Fia, after all those clicking, did your thumb ever get tired? Carpal tunnel? Okay. And just one thing for Sam, for Easter, for St. Mel's, like he was talking about, every weekend I drive by there, the cars are right in the horse trail. And I have quite a few people coming up. And so during Easter, if we can get some signs up there for no parking, that'd be great. So that way they can comply.
Absolutely, we'll get on tomorrow.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you so much. And by the way, you are a rock star. With that, I go ahead and adjourn the meeting.